quite a few years ago, I didn't see my life ever changing. I just thought I would live the rest of my life restricting and controlling and worrying and just being so anxious around food and my body and what I looked like, and these thoughts like basically consuming me. I thought that would be my life for the rest of my life, but I didn't want it to be that way. And as soon as I made that decision and I put all of my energies into finding this place where I am right now, honestly, it's literally changed my whole life. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. So I am going to be diving into the deep end with this video, and I do need to put a trigger warning at the start of the video. Like, if you don't feel comfortable listening to me talk about things like weight and issues surrounding food and body image, eating disorders, stuff like that, then please just click off this video and come back to it when you feel ready, because this video is only coming from a very happy place and I only want it to like inspire you or encourage you to make changes in your life if you find yourself in a similar situation. And even if you don't, I really hope that it just sends out a really positive message, because yes, I am going to be talking about my weight gain in this video and how it's basically changed my whole life. Now that is a very bold statement, but genuinely it has changed my life. So yes, this is like my personal story, but I do want to open these conversations as well, because in today's society, especially with females, a lot of the focus is still on aesthetics and what we look like, and weight gain is stigmatized. It's seen as something that's really bad and you should be ashamed of gaining weight and stuff like this, when if you are at a point where you're restricting and you're underweight and you're like not fueling your body properly, the only way to get out of that is to gain weight. Like, it has to happen. Gaining weight was going to allow me to be healthy and find this place right now. Definitely like this video if you do enjoy it, and leave your comments and thoughts down below just so we can, you know, reach more people and, as I said, open up this conversation. So I basically have 10 main things I want to talk about. The 10 things in my life that have drastically changed because I have gained weight. These are in like no particular order. But the first one to talk about is the fact that because I have gained weight, and quite ironically we could say, I am more body confident. Like, I did not see this one at all. It was very unexpected, because the thought of gaining weight made me think that I wouldn't like the body, the new body that I had to sort of like embrace. But I have never been more body confident like in my life. I just think back to the times when I was, say, at my lowest weight, and I don't know, I was in like a leotard and tights in a dance class, or I was in a bikini on a beach, and I just remember feeling so insecure and not at all confident in my body. But it's so crazy, because like, you're trying to lose weight, so surely you would feel more confident if that was your goal. But the reality is, you often don't know what you're trying to achieve when you are in that mindset, when you are consumed by the eating disorder and you have like body dysmorphia and everything else going on. You don't know where you're heading, and so you're never entirely satisfied. And yet now, as I said, this is my body. I've accepted that this is what I look like. I'm not saying you have to love every part of you. I don't think any of us would be like, oh, I love everything. And I mean, that's great if you do. But just this idea of like body neutrality, we could say, and just feeling comfortable and confident in your own skin. I think you radiate such a positive energy, and there is nothing like sexier, I'm gonna say, than someone who is confident in their own skin. You know, that is just a beautiful thing. The second one then is something else that is also just so, I'm gonna say, beautiful to me. I think that's the key word of today's video, beautiful. In me gaining weight, I have been able to welcome more people into my life, and I've made so many more social connections because I am more free around food and what I look like. I remember, again, in the past, if I was in a conversation and someone brought up a topic like about food or bodies and stuff, I would shy away from talking about that. I would try and remove myself from the situation. And of course, I don't enjoy finding myself in situations where people are talking about like fad diets or, you know, dieting and weight loss in an unhealthy way. But if people were just talking about like the foods that they love, or their favorite foods, or the fact that they want to go out and get food and would everyone like to come and join them, I would shy away from that. But as you guys know, I traveled with like different people last year, with my brother, with new friends, and I wasn't afraid to like eat out. I'm not afraid to go and get food with a friend or go out with my family and have a meal. And I wouldn't have like found myself in this situation, I don't think, where I am right now, like at the end of last year and this year. I feel incredibly happy to have made a particular social connection. I also think that those around me and those who are my friends and like my family, they have noticed this. I have always been a big foodie, and so in me restricting and shying away from that, I was just running away from who I really am. Now the third thing is related to what I've said. I mentioned it in the second point, but like I am in a position where I love going out to get food. I'm not so controlling and uptight about when I'm eating, what I'm eating, knowing what I'm gonna eat the next day or the day before. Like the amount of energy I used to expend on calculating things, planning my food, and thinking about whether my body was gonna change because I ate a donut or I ate a bit more one day. Like, oh my god, like it's honestly draining mentally. And I could have saved so much brain space to do other stuff. Whereas now it's like, if I'm gonna randomly and spontaneously go out and get some food with someone, okay, fine. And this month in January, I may as well be living in London at this point, because I'm going in so many times to like meet friends, see people, have meetings, sort a lot of stuff out, and it will involve like a lot of eating out. Like I'm not saying a fancy meal all the time, but just like getting food that's not the food I would make at home. Point number 4 is something that I just love. It's the fact that I am a much better runner now that I have like gained weight. I used to run every single day the same distance at a pretty slow pace, because in the past when I wasn't fueling my body properly and I was underweight, I didn't have the energy to run further, to run faster, and I just ran because I saw it as a way to lose weight, unfortunately. And that's when I ran for the wrong reasons. But now I run because I genuinely love it. Like it's a huge part of my life. I've actually been able to improve as a runner and achieve certain goals. Hopefully, as I said, like I set myself a goal this year to maybe run an ultra marathon. Often people will think in their heads that, you know, the lighter you are, the faster you can run. But like if you have no strength, then you're not going to be able to run very far and to run at certain paces. And I also know that when I was running in the past and I was at that particular weight that was very unhealthy, I didn't have a period, which is something I'm going to go on to talk about obviously, but I shouldn't have to lose my period to sustain a weight at which I think I'm going to run faster. Like it's just so backwards. Like I am healthy now, I have a functioning hormonal system, and I can still run, and I'm running faster and further than I ever have done. Number 5 is related to kind of like exercise and stuff, but because I have gained weight, I can now actually properly build strength and muscle. Whereas in the past when I was not at a healthy weight, I was toned or defined, we could say, just because I had a very, very low body fat percentage. That is not good at all for females, okay? Like females naturally need more body fat than males, but I was toned just because I wasn't at a healthy weight, and I don't want that. Like you want to be able to actually build muscle and build strength because you have the energy resources to do that, okay? I don't have six-pack abs that show all the time. Like genetically, that's not me. And you know, I have more body fat, as I said, on me right now, but I can tone my body, of course, and I want to build more strength, as I said as well in my 2023 goals video. It feels so empowering to build strength and to strength train, which is really fun. I love functional strength training, and any changes that happen aesthetically to my body, it's not ever my goal, it's just happening naturally because I'm enjoying the exercising and the running that I'm doing. Number 6 is again related to kind of exercise, but it's like not exercising, because I'm okay now with not working out or like taking rest days. As you guys know, right now I'm injured, so I'm not running. And in the past when I had a running injury or an injury, I honestly hated that, but again, I hated it for the very wrong reasons. I would say push through that injury and keep running, making it worse just because I felt as if I needed to run, or I'd be doing everything else like cycling, walking, strength training, loads of exercise to try and counteract the fact that I wasn't running or dancing, for example. It was just very toxic and unhealthy. Whereas now I have this injury, I got it in December after the 30k run that I did, and I've been out running and I haven't been, you know, exercising, I haven't been walking, I haven't been going to the gym, doing nothing basically for the past 3 weeks. And I'm fine with that. Like, yes, it sucks that I can't run and it's kind of annoying because running is something I honestly love, but I just was like, you know, my body needs to rest. The more I rest, the faster my foot will heal, and I just have to be patient. Like, I don't enjoy cycling as much as running, so why am I gonna obsessively cycle just because I feel as if I need to exercise? Like, the thing is, I don't feel like I need to exercise. I'm okay, and I know that this period is transient. I'm just okay with these periods of stasis or not exercising. And as I said, like, taking rest days. In the past, I was like, I have to work out every single day and move my body all the time. I can't just do nothing. Whereas now it's like, rest days are so important. Rest is imperative, especially if you are someone who is very active like myself. And I am very active just because I love moving my body, and I have done so my whole life. Number 7 is something I've spoken a lot about, but I cannot omit it from this video. Like, I have regained my period. Finally, after like 7-8 years of amenorrhea, hypothalamic amenorrhea, which is a form of secondary amenorrhea where you start your period and then you lose it later in life, I've gained weight and my body actually has the energy to, you know, give me a period. And that is something that is healthy and normal for most females, aside from sort of conditions that can take your period away and if you are on contraception and stuff like this. But I have a healthy and functioning cycle. Me gaining my period, it has infiltrated so many aspects of my life, and it is something I'm going to talk about in a whole separate video because I feel like it deserves its own attention. But I have got my period back as a result of gaining weight. Without a period for so many years, you increase your risk of like bone fractures, osteoporosis, cardiovascular problems, fertility issues. There are so many things and so many organ systems that are compromised as a result of having such low levels of your sex hormones, like estrogen, for example. The 8th thing that has changed as a result of my body changing and gaining weight is that I am just more okay with fluctuations in my body, like small fluctuations in what I look like or how I feel in myself. So the first thing that comes to mind with this one for me is that, you know, with my cycle, my body will naturally change. I go through periods when I feel more bloated than others, and that is all just to do with these hormonal fluctuations. When this first started to change, like when my hormonal system was kicking back in and I was like gaining weight and my body was changing, I remember crying myself to sleep. I would cry like so much every single night because I felt very uncomfortable in my own skin. I felt bloated and I had no idea what my body was doing. Don't get me wrong, it didn't feel that nice. Like physically, I felt so different in myself. But like, I'm upset almost now because I was just so sad. It got me so down and it messed with my head. Like, if you don't feel okay as it is and then you have these changes taking place that you want to resist, it's just a recipe for disaster. I spent like a lot of my holiday with my family in Greece crying because of my body. It also happened before that when Em and I went to France. That was a time when my body really started to change and I started to notice these changes. But as I said, I was resisting them and I was so anxious about like my weight still and what I looked like. But if we then fast forward to like now, I just accept these small fluctuations. They are again normal, especially in females. I used to spend ages, like for example, staring at myself in my mirror. This is my mirror in my room, but I now don't really find myself looking in my mirror anymore at all. But if I do look in my mirror, I can look at myself, you know, when I'm feeling really great and I'm not bloated. But I can also look in the mirror when I'm bloated or I have a stomach full of food and be like, that's me, that's my body. I love what she looks like. You know, I'm gonna move on. I'm not gonna worry about it. Now, whoever you are and whatever situation you find yourself in, I kind of challenge you to either not look in a mirror for a whole entire day, or to look yourself in a mirror when you do have like a stomach full of food or you feel really bloated. Prove to yourself that you can look in a mirror and still feel comfortable in your own skin. I don't want you to associate that with any negativity. I want you to free your mind of those thoughts. Number 9 is to do with like self-acceptance, and yes, it does relate to the confidence thing, but what I'm trying to get at here is that I don't have to seek any like external validation, for example, whether that be through comments from others in real life or online, Or, you know, I don't have to take a photo and body check myself, you know, I don't seek this external validation. Everything comes from within. I know that sounds really deep, but this whole video is kind of deep. Related to this idea of self-acceptance, I also don't compare myself to anyone anymore. As I've spoken about before, my sister and I used to have a very like toxic relationship where we'd compare ourselves to each other in what we looked like, in what we ate. It was incredibly detrimental to both of us. It was such a toxic relationship. But like, I don't compare myself to my sister anymore, my friends in my real life, people online. I am just my own self. And so the final thing I want to say in this video number 10 is that I have gained weight, yes, and I'm just simply so much happier. Like, I've never been so just happy in my life. As I said, I didn't think that weight gain would bring me happiness, and it's not as if it's the weight gain per se, it's just the fact that I've been through this healing process and that has brought all of this positivity with it. So those are my 10 things. I have been thinking a lot about this, as I said, and I've wanted to make this video for a while. Life is so much more than weight, scales, what you look like, what you eat, how much you eat. It's so much more than that. But like, as I said at the start, definitely like this video if you did enjoy it. Comment down below and subscribe if you want to stick around and see what happens this year in 2023. And yeah, I am also now posting videos back on biology, so a lot of the biology content will be coming back. I recently posted a video about like cervical cancer, which was related to my smear test last year. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that channel as well alongside this one. And yeah, I think the only thing left for me to say is, as always, I'll speak to you very soon in another video. Bye! Why is this person still trying to call me? Like, what is this? No, I'm not answering a scam call. What the hell? Are my eyes like open or what? Why does I feel like it's closed? I don't know why I'm using my hands so extravagantly today. I always use my hands a lot, but today they're kind of everywhere. What am I talking about? Oh, hello, there's someone outside.